Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's Anna the Crazy Geek Crafter, and this is kind of a double video. I did wonder if I should have cut it in two, but we're gonna go with the one. For this project you need cereal boxes, lots of glue, patience, and some white cardstock, some pattern paper, and then you can make this lovely set of dual trash cans and a desk caddy. I have already made a trash can a while ago, but I have gotten to the realization I need to. I sort my paper from my other things that I throw out, and within this paper category is also anything that has metallic foil on it. That cannot be recycled apparently in paper. So I'm making an extra trash can so that I can keep these two kinds of trash apart. And I put in the entire thing, but I actually start out by making one that is too big. I didn't think it was going to look that big compared to the other one. It's going to be the same height. I did notice that it was a tiny bit wider, but then you see how you can make a box from one end, and then I'll show you how I do the other one afterwards. I use my collal glue, and I prefer to sand the shiny surface of the cereal box before I glue anything. It seems to stick better that way, but I don't always remember. And yeah, I basically just got glue everywhere for this project. On me, on my table, on the mat, sometimes on the paper that I put down to make sure the glue didn't get on anything I didn't want it to, but mostly on me and the project. I'm just checking to see how the bottom looked on the old one. I'm going to put in an extra bottom, and I'm going to put in a piece on the inside, because otherwise the trash will stick underneath these flaps. I prefer a clean bottom, but as you see, it's much too big. So add it again, because I have another box pulled out for this project, but it is way too slim for this particular need I have. I found that the size I had on the old caddy or trash can was perfect. It wasn't too big, but it wasn't so small that I wasn't able to hit it with the trash. So here I take one side and cut off a gluing tab so that I have the long side with the gluing tab. Cut off the slim side and the slim side. Then I'm going to find the middle of these two and score them. Like I said, it's been a while since I made the first trash can. That's why I don't remember the measurements or how I did it. I'm just trying to make it look similar. That is also why I put the paper on before, this paper, before I glued together, because I can see that's what I did on the other one. And I picked the same pattern but with a different background. This is not particularly my color, but at some point I picked this paper to be my desktop things paper. I have a drawer with foam tape in it, which has this paper on it, and I have some boxes where I keep pearls and stuff that has this paper on it, and my trash can, my new trash can, and my caddy all has papers from this collection. And weirdly enough, there is absolutely no blue to be seen anywhere, and blue is my absolute favorite color. So sometimes I try to avoid my favorite color just because. Here I notice I should have scooted it down a bit, but too late. So I'm going to put in a decorative pattern piece here. Later on, not now, but a bit later, just to hide this edge. I made sure it overhang at the bottom and the top to make a nice finish around the box. now I have a trash can for anything and a trash can for things that go recycled paper. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I wanted them to be attached so they're easy to move around the desk, but I want to be able to pull them apart when I want to empty them, so I don't empty the wrong thing into the wrong trash can. So here comes some velcro adhesive backed dots, and then I can pull my trash cans apart and put them back together, and I'm thinking this will serve very well for the project. And I just realized there was foil on this paper, so it has to go in trash, whereas the other is recycle. It's the next day, and I'm showing you my current caddy, or at the time current caddy, and the problem with it is it can't hold everything, and whenever I pull something bigger out, like the water, everything tilts around. That one, and if I have 3 or 4 pieces out on the table, everything starts to wheel around in there. It's annoying, and nothing is ever in the same place other than the rulers and my pens. So I'm going to make a more slimline caddy where there will only be 3 levels of depth for things. I'm going to miss the fact that this was metal and I could put magnets on it. I had my tweezers and my scissors on the side. It was very nice, easy to grab and to stick back. And I'm pulling out my heavy duty blade here to cut through all the layers. This is going to be the actual size of my caddy, the height in the back, and I'm gonna cut it down in the front so I can easily access the shorter things. Firstly, I have to figure out what goes where, and I like to make a plan for that. So here's my plan. I need a space for my rulers. They don't need too much space, so we can do it like this. And well, I didn't know what to do with the spot in the middle, so I just gave the bigger rulers more room. It came in handy as a place to put my my clothes packs. I used them to hold things that has to glue, and now I can just draw around all the items so that they have a designated spot. I'm not going to split up the glues, they're just going to sit there together, but I am going to make sure the water doesn't tip over when I take out the eraser. This spot was a bit hard. I wanted a spot for my sand eraser, but I was uncertain what to put in the back spot, and I thought it was going to be these 4 things, but later on I figured that that was a bad idea. Now spots for my temporary and permanent adhesive rollers, or runners, that's the word. They should maybe have been a tiny bit wider, but it actually works to keep them there. Then in front I need my tweezers and my scissors, and then the back space is going to house, well, the most important things almost. The knife, the Bonefolder, the scissors, the pencil, all the stuff you use all the time. So now I have a plan, so I can start to build. And to start with, I want to make that long slim piece in the back. So I'm cutting off essentially the other half of the box, and I'm gonna glue it in close to the back side. But first I need to assemble the bottom so it doesn't shift when I glue it. I'm just gonna use tape, and I cut myself. Be careful with cardstock, because those are the worst cuts. I didn't bleed this time though over the last few days I've pricked my finger I don't know how many times while I've been sewing, so it's so annoying. I want a stabilizing piece on the inside of the bottom, also so nothing catches on the pieces that makes up the bottom here, and it will also strengthen it with all this Collal glue, which dries seriously hard. But I should have put the piece upside down. This is so annoying. I'm gonna be able to see the cornflakes logo when I pull out too much of my stuff in this caddy. It's a bit annoying, but I can't change it now. Or I could, but then I'd have to start all over almost. Well, I'm cutting the back wall for the rulers. I need to do something about this blade, I think. It's getting a bit dull. I hate breaking those off. I always feel like it's gonna fly off and hit something. Something like me. But that'd be someone, if we're going to be technical about it. Well, some faster drying glue than the Collal for this particular part. And I was in such a hurry with this, I didn't sand everything. I should have, I didn't. So sometimes you get all caught up in your build and you forget these tiny details. At least I do. Now I need to divide the spaces, and for that I'm just using cardstock. This is 240 grams, so it's not exactly lightweight. And I'm going to make the dividers into set folds, or zigzags if you prefer, so that it gives the most possible strength for the project. And I did have a bit of trouble with some of these sticking, but if you're stubborn enough, you can make it happen. So, here we go. And now I just need to know how far over I need to put it. And it's really hard to hold these because there's such a tiny space in there. And I didn't make them all the way down. I didn't see the need to. Just a good piece of the top. This is what, 4 centimeters maybe? Maybe 5. But it seems enough to hold everything. And there's one of my pegs. And this is also just about what makes up this entire build. It's cardstock walls. Now, because of the structure of the box is solid because it's thicker board. But I see no reason to build the supports in anything heavier than 240. So now I'm just measuring how far down I need this to be in the front so I can grab something as short as the glue or my erasers. Okay, let's try that again. I want to put I want to put in a piece of paper here in the back just to cover up the serial theme of this build. Sorry, I just did a card voiceover and now it's stuck in my head. I wanted to hide the monkey and the cereal on this box. Just because you build something out of a cereal box doesn't mean it has to show too much. So I'm cutting a line, or first I'm drawing it, then I'm cutting the line so that I can get access to the smaller things in my caddy here. And this was kind of hard to cut, I have to be honest, because, well, as you see, I can't really press down completely. But perseverance. Oh, it's one of those days she wants to play. And why is it always me? Why is it not her dad? She should go bother him instead. I know why it's me. It's because I'm more available. And here I decide not to put in cardstock at the bottom of this, and that's one of the few things I regret about this. I'm cutting out some pieces at the right height to make dividers, counting out how many I need of the big ones. I am using a lot of leftovers from different projects that I don't need anymore, and it's nice to feel that it's not been wasted, that it still has a purpose, even though it maybe just been, like this one I cut up, a helping piece to make another, to cut something else, basically. It was from my frame project with the plants. I just cut the paper to size so it's easier for me to transfer the marks I've made, which should fit with the objects in question. So I bend one end and then I measure out how much base I need, and then I score again and cut it to size on the flap, gluing flap, and glue them in to opposite sides, trying to keep it as straight as possible. I am getting to the realizations that I need to make a taller room for like the scissor, the big scissors, the we call it a scalpel, I believe, the knife I use, the Bonefolder and those things. They will tip over in these smaller lots. So I'm making a lot in front for the tiny things like my sewing scissors and my ruler, and now I just have to figure out how high I can or will make this this inner piece. And I do have to change out this paper. It's too small. Don't I? Yeah, I do. I decided to make an entire tube for it, so it has support all the way up on all 4 sides, because on one side it's slanted and the back is high, and then the two the sides are low. So I'm just going to pick a piece, score it to fit precisely in this spot at the end. And inside that one I'm going to make smaller copies, so that for instance my scissors is going to get a small hole for itself, so I can always grab it easily. It won't fall to the back or anything, always be in front. And I'm going crazy with the glue here. Like I said, I got glue all over me doing this project. There we go. But this is better height for my tools. But like I said, I had troubles with them bouncing around, so to speak, in their holes here. So I'm going to divide this like I said. With everything getting a designated spot, even my small post-its here I use sometimes for when I look through pattern paper and stuff, have a place I can get onto decorating. And I picked this purple one with gold splotches to fit with everything else, and I just have to empty my caddy and wrap it in paper. Now my box is all prettied up. I am ready to fill it back up so that I don't see that horrible bottom. Here's a picture of my desk accessories. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back next week for another one. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening, or night.